Hello and welcome to this MediaManager.net demo. In this demo, what we're going to do very quickly is I just want to answer the question, why does MediaManager.com work for event planners, people who work with event technology, event directors, managers? Why is this effective for them? What does it do for them? Why are they using this? And it's a question that I'm going to answer in terms of if you haven't seen the other demos we've done in this, there's one that we do, why does it work for attendees? So people who attend training events, sales presentations, any of those types of things. Well, this is why does it work for the event planner. So one of the things, there's a couple areas that event planners tend to focus on, and one of those is attendee engagement. So how do we get attendees to really pay attention to the information that is being communicated, to go and work with, if they have vendors there, to work with their vendors and to really to take note of their vendors and discuss things with them and talk to them and get information from them and start moving. Let's just make opportunities. Why do we do that? So Media Manager is really designed on the attendee side to get them to engage content, because it gives them the ability to organize that content and use it in whatever they're trying to accomplish. So if they have something, now this is more on the business side, but let's say if I'm in, I'm in the market for a certain product or service, I go to this conference or this event, I start listening some new ideas, I get those thoughts going. Okay, this is now going to feed into something I'm going to probably present to other people, and then when I start talking to certain vendors, okay, these are the products and services I'm working with. Well, the ability for Media Manager to give that attendee their ability to go back, look at all the possible content that could have been engaged through the course of that event or that conference, and then start to organize it. So, these are the ones that they really want to look at, but they have all these others, and they're going to subscribe to some other ones. So we make that content alive. That gives them that engagement. But we're going to take this one step further in the sense that for those event planners, for those anybody who's really managing and running those events, what we get deeper than just engaging content, being engaging attendees, is real deep analytics into what works, what doesn't, where are the activities, where aren't the activities, not just on a single event or a single conference or a single summit, but across a wide range of them. So I'm going to show you something. So this is a single Media Manager portal. Okay, and Media Manager portals have this very, very cool little thing under the administration side called credentials. And credentials is where I do integrations to all these other tools that exist. So one of them is Salesforce. We have a very well developed Salesforce application, multiple years spent on it, but we also have MailChimp integrations, Amazon S3, Okta, FTP, but I'm going to look at that Salesforce so you can see that this is integrated right now into Salesforce. Go back here. This integration is already in place, and it's all it takes is just create the credentials, add your username, password, it integrates it to it. And I'm going to go in, and here's my Media Manager app in a Salesforce org, and you can see I have multiple Media Manager portals connected here. So if I go into this one, that's my company, that's the one we were looking at, but I have a program A, program B, I have different ones. In here, I want to get back here. I can use the Force.com platform and all the tools that exist in Force to start to work with every single aspect of data that exists within Media Manager without any code. Meaning that one integration that I did right here, it's now automatically sending everything down to this this Force.com environment, and then I can use that across multiple events and summits and conferences and all the type of stuff. And now I can aggregate it all, and I can run AI on it. So there's a thing called Einstein AI in Salesforce that can now consume this data, and you can start to get insights into it. I can do reports, I can do dashboards. We have our out-of-the-box dashboards, so this starts to show me for all organizations This is, what are the top pieces of media that people are looking at? What are the top presentations? Who are the speakers that get the most views? What are the number of slides and the number of views? So what's our engagement look like across all of them? And then I can start to drill down and just look at one, and I can look at a different one, and I can run reports, but not just this type of stuff, but I can see things like all of the different content. If you have a collection of content that's been assigned to somebody, what's their progress across it? I can do that across all of these different organizations. And then here's where there's some more. I can see anytime you create a user in this environment, it automatically creates that record in Salesforce. So rather than if your customers, they want you to help them automate some stuff. So let's say they have a booth, it's a vendor with a booth, or somebody's giving a presentation, they want to get that contact information, it's automatically created in Salesforce. So if they're using this CRM in any kind of way for their own sales operations or just general data, all these users are automatically created, their contact information is already added, we know where they came from, and in addition to that, this is where the real power lies. Every single piece of media that's loaded into this environment, so you see all these presentations, all this stuff here, a corresponding record. So every single presentation and every single slide and every presentation that's added or updated in real time, it automatically creates this corresponding record. There's actually two, if you notice there. So if you look here, Project 27 October, Project 27, notice how one is checked and one isn't. This is actually telling me where they accessed it. So if it's here, and you know this by looking, I'm not seeing it here, but I can tell you what it is. So if it's this one here, that means that when they clicked on this, they went into all presentations and they accessed that slide through a presentation as opposed to doing a search for it, which is what would give me this. So this doesn't just tell me what they're engaging, and it creates another one once one is complete. It tells me when they do it, and then through that I can know the order that people are engaging content, and then also where they're engaging it within the portal itself. Meaning every single user, every single person who goes into any of these portals, in every single piece of media, and it automatically updates, so it's automatically reforming. You never have to do any kind of data entry or anything like setup like that. All of that is captured here, and then you can use the Einstein AI or other types of tools. You can export it out to something like AWS into a data warehouse, and then use Tableau and other business intelligence tools, and you can start to really derive some very significant insights, especially since these users, you typically have some good deep information. I mean, what are their roles, what are their companies, where are they working, what are they doing, and see what's actually being engaged, what's the content that people look at the most with the most reach and frequency, what content tends to be engaged over time, as opposed to others. And now out of this media manager, what those event planners get, aside from all of the other stuff, which is engaged attendees, happy customers, happy vendors, happy everybody, they get this wealth of data, which, a lot of people, they talk about, well, is this data stuff that you want to collect? Is it not stuff that you want to collect? Well, this is all, the difference here between, say, Twitter and Google and YouTube is all of those are not behind a login and a kind of firewall. Whereas every media manager requires a login, it requires acceptance of a privacy policy. They're basically saying, listen, we communicate directly with people, we have their engagement, we will delete that information if you want, but in general, we're gonna, this is business communications for the most part, we're gonna know what you're looking at as a part of tracking your completion through a certain course of materials. And in that regard, we're capturing all this information and we're using it to determine what information helps us to engage our audience most effectively. And then when you take this data has tremendous value in terms of turning around and going back to your customers or your organization or whoever you're working with and saying, I can give you some really deep insights, and you can start to identify some real opportunities as well. When people are looking at certain information with a high rate of frequency, and they're doing it across multiple events and conferences and things like that, then we start to know where their interests really lie and what their market is, where they are in the market at that moment. So this is really a great value. All this automation exists. There is zero code. I showed you everything involved in this. It's really just going in and you create the credentials and you make sure the app is loaded, the Media Manager app is loaded into your Force.com platform, and then that is it. You've got all of these tools, and it also gives you a record of every presentation, so you know all the presentations that are given according to where they're given. So, I know that the company media manager, this one, which would be for a certain event, these were all the presentations that were given there, all the vendor booths that existed. If I go into any one of these, I can see all the content that currently exists for it, and I can see who has access to it, who are the users who accessed everything, and really get just we create every single aspect of your event, your conference, your summit. We have data to really represent that, down to who's attending presentations and who's going back and looking at them in Media Manager later on, and all that type of stuff. So it's really a significant data mine, and data source for an event, in addition to all those other things. So if you have any questions, go ahead and visit us at MediaManager.net. You can launch one at register.mediamanager.net. You can schedule a demo with us through the website. You can email us at support@mediamanager.net. Just get in touch with us. It really helps to have a demo and really start to have a conversation around how we can help you. And that is all. Thanks so much.